Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Uncharted 1 Crushing Difficulty walkthrough, and this is chapter 9, also known as To the Tower. It's also known.
Okay.
It's known as To the Tower. And we finished the last episode by opening the gate. And we start this mission by heading through the gate via our trusty little water scooter, our beautiful white and pink water scooter. Nothing makes you feel manly like a pink and white little vehicle. And this is basically the same as in the last mission. I proceed very cautiously through these old ruins. Try to gun down the enemies before they get a chance to... Damn, that was close to death. Always be careful when venturing through old ruined cities. You never know how good the pirates are gonna aim. But as you can see, I do the same thing. It's nothing wrong with the engine, I'm just being very cautious, and I don't want to venture too far in before I have gotten a lay of the land, because how the water scooter stops, I talked about this in my previous episode, it's a bit momentum based, so it doesn't stop immediately when you let go of the acceleration button. So you're gonna have to be a little bit careful, because we have talked about this before and you know this. If you've gotten this far in the game, you're very aware about the fact that enemies are deadly and their aiming is really good. But something I really enjoy when you're riding the water scooter is the fact that you have unlimited ammo for your grenade launcher, because it makes you feel really empowered. Because when you're playing on the really high difficulties of this game, you have a tendency to feel that you are always at a disadvantage, as you should be. It should be challenging when you're playing a game on very hard or crushing. We all know this, but that is what's so fun about these water scooter moments, is that you get this grenade launcher, you have unlimited ammo, and you can just let it rip. For once, you don't even have to worry about ammo or anything like that. You can just blow the shit out of everything. And imagine how hard this would be if you were to only get a set amount of grenades. As for example, if you had to go up to enemy corpses and try to pick up grenades from them. But that could have added another layer of difficulty, so that could have been interesting if it would have been well executed. But it's really fun to let it work, and here you're gonna see how horrible the blind fire can be in this game. What was that? 8, maybe 9 bullets? 2 of them hit while he was about a meter away. And it's even a fat guy, so it's a bigger target to hit. But you can't rely on blind fire in this game. That is something that changed in the sequel. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I started recording my Uncharted 2 walkthrough. I'm about 5 chapters into the game. And blind fire is something they really changed. But I'm not gonna get too far into that. Instead, we're gonna focus on this. Because we have gotten past the first part. We got past the water scooter part. And now we have, I think it's 3 big firefights ahead of us. This is the first one. And some of these are quite easy. And one of them can be really hard, because it's quite a big fight. And you have to get pretty far into the fight before you reach a checkpoint. I don't even think there is a checkpoint during that fight, because I died a few times at different times during that firefight, and every time I died I respawned at the start of it. So there may be a checkpoint quite far in, because there are a few waves of enemies coming, but if there is a checkpoint, I never reached it. And this is one of those annoying moments, because I know there is a guy over there somewhere, but there are a lot of trees and leaves and plants hanging in the way, so he can see me perfectly, and I have no idea where he is. I can just see a little hint of his lovely yellow pants, or if it's a yellow tank top. But now I'm no, not quite dead yet. As they say in Monty Python, not quite dead. But as soon as he goes down, we're gonna traverse this little water-filled trench, or whatever it is, canal. Yeah, the water-filled thingy that we need to get past to reach the rest of his little friends. And a shotgun is not the best weapon to bring here. That is a mistake on my behalf. I recommend bringing the AK. But we can make it work. He goes in like a soccer goalie, trying to save his friend, and almost goes down. Oh my god. But this is a really great position to be in, hanging down in this trench, because you can see the enemies quite well. They can't flank you from the left because there is a little wall over there, and you are relatively safe because as soon as you drop your aim, he goes down and they have a really small target. And I think it's about now we're gonna see one of these little pirates doing some yoga around the corner. I have no idea what happened. No, it's not quite yet. I don't know what happened, if it's a glitch or something, but it looks quite funny. It seems like he forgot about trying to kill Nate and just decided to do some stretching instead. But first we're gonna have to take out this guy. And this is also a pretty good position to be in, because now I'm completely safe from the guys to the left, because they don't try to rush you. And now we can see his yoga class. You see him? Doing the tired swan, or the happy crane, or whatever. But since I'm not into exercise, we're gonna gun him down, because he is fat shaming us people, and people who fat shame us need to die. But into the next fight. This is the hard fight coming up. This will test your skill, and this will test your patience. And whatever you do, don't bring a shotgun, because we're gonna have to do some distance shooting. So I'm gonna run around here for a little bit. I'm gonna pick up as much ammo as I can, and I really recommend that you use an AK-47. I know it is a piece of shit most of the time. It doesn't do that much damage, but you're gonna have to, as I said, do some distance shooting, and sometimes you're gonna have to spray and pray, and then a shotgun is completely worthless. It's great for when enemies come close, but we don't want to let them come close. Instead, we are gonna try to keep our position of power and hopefully persevere. And since I have edited this, I know that I will persevere. But it took me a few tries. So we start by doing some platforming to get over. That was quite an amazing jump, actually. Because sometimes in this game I've fallen down trying to get over the world's smallest gap in the history of mankind. But now he just went all Peter Parker Spider-Man on us and did the world's longest jump as I try to aim around this corner, not succeeding. So you see a little transition there, and we're gonna see one guy's knee just peeking out around that pillar. So we force him out. Quick shot to the knee that softens him up, and out he runs. And when you jump down here, two enemies are gonna immediately spawn in. There's one fat guy with a shotgun, and that guy with a West 44. I throw in a grenade, which for once in this game works beautifully. One grenade, both guys go down instantly. On a few of my attempts I hit no one. One or two attempts I hit one guy. Because in this first game, as you know, they are very good at dodging grenades. And through this arch up on a ledge, right through the arch, is a guy with a grenade thrower or a grenade launcher, just as in chapter 8. So be very careful. You can see I'm being very cautious because I know he's standing up there, and if you go past this door and you're not aware of him, he may instantly kill you. Because if the grenade gets too close, you're dead. So what I do here, I try to lure the enemies out, and then I'm gonna try to get him before he gets me. And there he is, so we start spraying him. Not having that much luck with the AK, as I said, it can be completely useless unless you hit their head. But down he goes, and the biggest threat is done. And now we have a Magnum, and let's put this to good use. I love the Magnum because you get very few bullets for it. You get 6 bullets, but those 6 bullets are 6 death shots or 6 kill shots if you use it wisely. There will be enemies later in the game that have body armor, and then you're gonna have to do 2 bullets, I think, to get them to go down. But against these normal enemies, it's absolutely beautiful. As you can see, I had 6 bullets, I got 4 kill shots. But that is a pretty good ratio, I think. And this is a really good position to be in, because most enemies will not venture this far in. They will not rush you down here. And if they try to do it, you can bottleneck them at this door. If they try to go over to your left, you can see they have to get through that passageway between those 2 platforms. So you can hold this position and no one can get close. And if you get really unlucky and they do get close, they will almost always try to go for this door. So just hold this door, and if you're in a position of getting killed, just blind fire. Because there is quite a lot of ammo lying around. There's also a micro 9mm, I think it's called in this game, or the Uzi. And as I've said, I like the Uzi a lot. It's not very deadly, it doesn't have that much damage output, as I've said before, but it has a high rate of fire, and the damage to rate of fire ratio is quite good. So now I'm just throwing in a grenade trying to get them out, because I don't know where they are, and the enemies in this game can sometimes have the patience of rocks. They can sit behind one of these walls until the cows come home, and they will not move for anything. I don't know if they whip out their smartphones and sit on Facebook like, oh, Pirates R Us are having a sale on bulletproof tank tops and hats. But that was the last guy. Nope. Nope, I was wrong. That was the second to last wave. It was the last guy of the second to last wave. And since I was as surprised by them now as I apparently were when I recorded this, I fall back to my position of power. Fat Boy comes with a shotgun, and he is the only one that will try to rush you, I think. So I just hang around here for a little while, trying to get my bearings straight, trying to see who's left. And the reason I said these guys have the patience of rocks is that that actually comes true in this area. Because there is a setup waiting for you. At the end of this area, now I know that everyone is dead. You see in that archway over there, there is a guy into the right. He's been sitting with his smartphone playing Pokemon Go, checking with his friends on Facebook, or since this is a 10-year-old game, MySpace? Was MySpace still a thing back in 2007? Can't remember. 2008, whenever this game came out. But anyway, he's sitting there waiting for us. And I actually got killed by him because I had just beaten this fight. You're gonna see a little transition very soon. So I know that there is a checkpoint right now. After the fight is done, there you get a checkpoint. But I was feeling confident, I was feeling happy. I just beaten this giant fight. So I started running in and ran straight past him, and he shot me in the back. The little bastard shot me in the ass. So you see a little transition, out he comes, and gun him down. And he is also not the last guy, because there is one guy over to the left as well. So be very careful, there are two guys just hanging about, checking their phones, playing Pokemon or Candy Crush or whatever. So I'm being very cautious here because I had forgotten about the second guy as well, as I got murked by the first one. So just use the cover trick, he's standing in there quite passively. And down he goes, hopefully, yes. So now all the enemies in this area are dead. So don't make the same mistake I did, learn from my mistakes, guys. As soon as you've done that big fight, remember, Wolfman said there are two guys left in there. So now we're gonna do some platforming again. And this was actually quite funny. When I edited this, I actually had to edit this platforming a little bit because I fell down. And it wasn't fatal falls, but I've talked about it before that the platforming in this game is very hit and miss at times. So just to make it a bit more fluent, I had to edit out a few falls, and it's quite unnecessary to keep them in, because if you're playing this game you know that the platforming is very hit and miss. So you don't need to see it in a walkthrough video that, oh, the walkthrough creator has problems with it as well. But there's also a little puzzling. We move these chains, and now we're gonna venture around this room, because we all know that about platforming and puzzling. They are in there to prolong the gaming experience, and it can never just be climb up this wall and jump over here. Instead you have to take the scenic route around the room. And that is something I wish they would skip in games, because when it's in there just to make the game longer, it doesn't make it any more fun. It's just something that feels it's supposed to prolong the experience. I think it's quite unnecessary. Instead, fill the game with great content. But this is the final fight of this chapter, and I think there are two guys up here. Well, maybe it's just one. See one hiding in there, so I think I'm gonna break out my rifle and try to gun him down, but instead he backed away. So we hang back here for a little bit, because I wasn't quite sure if there was one or two guys. And I don't wanna focus on one just to realize that his friend was sitting waiting for me. But apparently it was just one guy. So remember that, one guy. And here we're gonna jump over to the zip line and right. This is something you need to remember. If you go out there to the right, Elena will die. Because this is the end of this chapter. You have to gun down the lock. And if you venture out through that open door, you will see a cutscene of Elena dying. That's how they stop you from venturing on without getting her. But that is the end of chapter 9, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.